My presentation is going to be talking about how to maintain healthy relationships, and I'm going to be using the movie Up to explain that. The relationship that I'm going to be using as an example is the relationship between Carl here and then Russell from the movie Up. So listening is something that we've talked about in class being very important to maintaining healthy relationships. We've talked about active listening and just being very attentive when the other person in the relationship is talking. A positive example of this from the movie is at the very end of the movie, Carl is sitting on the curb watching cars go by with Russell after they got ice cream. And this is a good example of listening skills because it calls back to earlier in the movie. Russell tells Carl that was one of his favorite things to do. And that was at a time when their relationship wasn't as good as it is at the end of the movie, but it shows that even when their relationship was a little more rocky, Carl was still listening to Russell and what he had to say and really cared about it. A negative example of listening is when Carl first meets Russell, and we will see why that is a negative example in this video clip.
With Target
After the
same-day
ad.
delivery, you can order today and get it today.
Order now. You get the camera, you get the printer, 4x optical zoom, Schneider lens, photo print, SD card.
Good afternoon. My name is Russell, and I am a wilderness explorer in Tribe 54, Sweat Lodge 12. Are you in need of any assistance today, sir?
No.
I could help you cross the street.
No.
I could help you cross your yard.
No.
I could help you cross your porch.
No.
Well, I gotta help you cross something.
No, I'm doing fine.
Good afternoon. My name is Russell, and I am a wilderness explorer in Tribe 54.
Slow down.
Sweat Lodge 12.
Kid,
Are you in need of
thank
any
you,
assistance
but I don't need
today,
any
sir?
help.
So as you can see, that was a negative example from the movie because especially the second time he ran through, Carl was really not listening to Russell at all. He was interrupting him. But even the first time, you could tell that Carl just had a ready-made answer no for whatever Russell had to say. He really just was not listening and didn't want to listen to what Russell had to say. He didn't give him a chance. So that's an example of negative listening skills. The next piece of advice, ironically, is for maintaining healthy relationships is to not give out unwanted advice. This is something we've talked about in class. It's a big thing, and it comes up a lot in romantic relationships because it seems to be gender-oriented. Men oftentimes give out unwanted advice. We've talked about that in class. And then from the movie, a positive example of not giving out unwanted advice, when Russell first talks to Carl about getting his badge for assisting the elderly, Carl, you can tell that Carl just thinks that this is ridiculous, but he holds his tongue and doesn't tell Russell, what he thinks of the merit badge and the whole program in general, which is early in the movie. That's a rare, good communication skill from Carl. He's very bitter early in the movie, but he displayed good communication skills here by not telling Russell what he really thought about the merit badge. A negative example of giving out unwanted advice. Again, there's plenty of negative examples of giving out unwanted advice in this movie, but one that I chose to talk about was when Carl tells Russell he can't help Kevin escape towards the end of the movie. So if you've seen the movie, you know that Kevin is the bird that they've befriended on their journeys, and he's been locked up in the hands of the bad guy, and so Carl and Russell are trying to help him escape, but Carl's very concerned about Russell's safety, so he ties him up in the chair and leaves him in the house. this ends up not going well. It causes all kinds of other problems. So it's just a good example of why giving unwanted advice doesn't really work out well. So another example of a good thing to do, good thing to keep in mind when trying to maintain healthy relationships is watch your tone and your body language. So a positive example of this from the movie is Russell is always upbeat and energetic. His body language is just always good, which in some ways this can be bad because it can get a little bit old, especially if you're Carl. But that type of body language has an infectious energy that will permeate your relationship if you try to maintain positive body language all the time. A negative example is Carl. Through most of the movie, he has negative body language almost all the time. This doesn't really harm Russell and Carl's relationship because Carl's such an upbeat kid that he almost doesn't seem to notice or care. But in other relationships, always having negative body language can really take a toll on your partner. So that's just another good thing to keep in mind. Just watch your body language and your tone of voice. So another skill, this one's really important to maintaining healthy relationships, is honesty. This one seems pretty obvious, but there's some good examples from the movie about honesty. Russell is very honest with Carl about his family problems early in the movie or towards the middle of the movie, and this helps Carl out at the end. It really makes their relationship a lot closer because Carl knows what Russell has gone through, and so you can see here in this picture he makes an effort to be at his ceremony when he gets his merit badge. You can tell that this means a lot to Russell, and it just really helps their relationship grow, and it all came out of Russell self-disclosing about his family issues, which can be something that's really difficult to do. So that's a positive example. A negative example of honesty from the movie, Carl's not honest with Russell when he tries to get Kevin and Doug to run away. This hurts Russell's feelings, and you can see that in this video clip. Hopefully we don't get another ad.
Please be my prisoner.
Doug, stop bothering Kevin!
That man there says I can take you first, and I love that man there like he is my master.
I am not your master.
I am warning you once again, Bird.
Hey, quit
I
it!
am jumping on you now,
Russell,
Bird.
at this rate, we'll never get to the fall.
Here, Bird.
I am nobody's master, got it? I don't want you here, and I don't want you here. I'm stuck with you. And if you two don't clear out of here by the time I count to
A
three...
ball! Oh boy, a ball!
Oh. You want a ball?
Oh. Yes, I do. I do ever so want the ball.
Go get it.
Oh boy, I will get it and then bring it back.
Quick, Russell, give me some chocolate.
What?
Just give it to me. Bird. Come on, Russell.
Wait, Mr. Fredrickson. What are we doing? Hey, we're pretty far now. Kevin's gonna miss me.
I think that did the trick.
Hi, Master.
So as you can see there, Carl makes it pretty clear that he doesn't want Doug and Kevin around, but you can see that Russell doesn't really pick up on that message. Russell almost thinks that Carl just wants to play fetch with the dog, and so when they start to ditch them, you can tell it really hurts Russell's feelings. He becomes really concerned with Kevin and Doug, and so he's not very happy with Carl there. So you can see how honesty in that situation would have been better if Carl really sat down and explained to Russell why he didn't want the dog and the bird around, and Russell maybe could have talked back, and a good conversation would have been a lot better in this situation. So again, honesty is very important. So just in conclusion, I think Up is a movie that displays a lot of good examples, both positive and negative, about how to maintain healthy relationships. Thank you.